Andrew McDonald, biotech was a really hot sector last year, up over 30%. And LifeSci Index Partners has 2 new ETFs out in the space. I want to hear all about them. And let's start with the BioShares Biotechnology Clinical Trials Fund. This is the BBC. It's a long name. Tell me about it.
So the BBC is a collection of approximately 70 biotech companies that are still in clinical development. Their products are still in human clinical trials. They're pre-FDA, and so these stocks trade on data for their drugs, and we've got an equal weighting.
And this would be, I suppose, more risky than the IBB, which is the iShares ETF, which is the giant in the biotech industry. And that has companies like Gilead and Amgen and Biogen. Those are big companies. In your ETF, these are little ones.
Yeah, the average market cap is about 1.5 billion in the BBC. These are companies that when they have data, the stocks can double. So there's a lot of juice in them when they report positive results. And our ETF is equal weighted so that when they do have a big move, you see that reflected in the performance of the ETF.
And you also launched last month the BioShares Biotechnology Products Fund. This is the BBP, another long name, but another interesting ETF. I want to hear about it.
Yeah, so it's a lot less beta. These are companies with their products on the market. So they're already through clinical trials. They're driven by revenue and earnings. So you don't have quite the same level of binary risk, so lower beta. And it's about 30 companies and equal weighted as well.
And this one, I guess, would be less risky than the BBC because they have a product out in the market. But there's also a lot of fun here because these companies could get taken out, which is one of the big plays in biotech.
Absolutely, and you've seen a lot of it this year. You saw Cubist, for example, a commercial stage company, get bought by Merck. So when you do have these commercial stage companies get bought, it's reflected in the performance of the ETF.
And then finally, do you expect a lot of fun in the biotech sector in 2015 like there was in 2014? A lot of takeouts, a lot of interesting drugs coming to fruition?
Oh, absolutely. There's a real revolution that's going on, particularly in the immuno-oncology space and the gene therapy space. And we know that there are expected to be about 15 IPOs in January alone.
All right, sounds like a lot of fun. Congrats on the ETFs, and thanks for coming to The Street.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching The Street.